I'm losing the light. Massively losing the light. Hello. The thing is, when you have a channel on YouTube where you show the world books and tell them what you think of books, it really enthuses you to buy more books, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You know, I have a lot of books to catch up on. It's fine. Let me count.
One eternity later.
Okay, I've just counted. 48. It's fine. Yeah, let's get started. So I thought I'd start with books that, you know, most people will know. They're either fantasy or sci-fi, dystopian, teen, young adult, all that good stuff. Across the Universe by Beth Revis. I looked everywhere because obviously I wanted to save money because I don't have that much money. The cheapest place I found it was the book depository. I got it in hardback because the paperback version didn't have these pretty little stars and it wasn't as pink. At the moment I'm up to chapter 4 and so far it's good. I'm liking it. It is about a family who volunteered to go on this ship for 300 years and they have to be frozen obviously. No one lives to 300. The main character's name is Amy. Some shit goes down on that ship. I don't know what yet. Awesome dust cover. You get to see Godspeed, which is the ship that they're on. And it's just totally awesome basically. And the book, so cool. And you even got a little Godspeed and a little picture. So yeah. Happy with that. Next one is another book that I am ashamed to have not read yet. It is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. It is a dystopian book about a young girl. I think she's called Callie. She's probably not. Ruby. I'm reading too many books. I'm mixing up character names. It's about a girl named Ruby. The whole of the children, I guess, in the world, I think, get ill and some die. The majority die, but some do not die. And they have these powers. I'm here. There, you see my bookmark? The next two books that I bought are two in the Shiva series. I've heard not the greatest things about these books. I've heard they're about, I think, werewolves. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna just take what everyone else says. You know, I'm gonna read them for myself and make up my own mind. Next is this cute little, it's called English Fables and Fairy Stories by James Reeves. And it's just, it looks adorable. Look. I was in town and we have a market every Wednesday and Sunday. I found this book stall, which I'd never seen before. And this was there among some of these other books as well, but I might not remember which ones came from it. Look at that. She's riding some sort of fish. Next is Room by Emma Donoghue. My mum actually read this before me and I was quite intrigued by the front cover, so I asked her what it's about. And I think it's about a mum and her child that know nothing but a room, something like that. Like someone has locked them in for years. I really don't know. Next is a really random book I'd never even heard of, but I thought it sounded really cool. And it is Shadow March by Tad Williams. It's got kings and swords and castles, so... Wizard's First Rule by Terry Goodkind. I think I got this from that stall I said about on the market in town. I find there are a massive lack of dragon books in the world, so when I saw this, yeah, I bought it. Angel Fall by Susan E. I hope that's how I pronounce her name, E.E. Like the phone network. It's just the strangest concept to me. Fallen angels. I just never heard of that before, so I'm intrigued. Next is Gone by Michael Grant. I had been walking around Waterstones because that's what I do, and I'd seen these on the Cool table. The Cool table is the table which has, you know, The Hunger Games, Divergent. I also saw these and I thought, what is this? What is this strange book? There's something in it. Ah, that's where I bought it from. eBay. I think adults, all the adults go missing. Yeah, anyone over the age of 15 disappears. Next is another book I got from that market in town, and it's called The Star of Kazan by Eva Ibbotson. If the front cover isn't enough to catch your eye, then it's called The Star of Kazan. But it's just so pretty. I wonder what the inside... Oh, it has a map inside. Look. And look. Wow. looks like it's set in our world, which is fine. Just means I have to use less of my imagination. Next are 3 of my favourite books ever to be put out into the world. They are by Philip Pullman. They are Here's Dark Materials. I have a series of these already, but the thing is they are a modern cover and I'm really picky about covers, and I know that these are older covers, or if I'm wrong then this is embarrassing, but I thought they were. This is Northern Lights, this is The Subtle Knife, and this is The Amber Spyglass. If you haven't read these books, you're massively missing out. Your life is not complete until you read these. It's about a girl named Lyra. She lives in Oxford in this alternate universe which is our world, but it's not our world. Everybody has their soul split into 2. The other half of your soul is represented in an animal. So she has Pan, which is, he changes, he's like a little ferret sometimes and maybe a bird sometimes, I can't remember. I've read these once, but you know it's a good book series if you've read it once and you remember everything about it. Next is another one of my favourite themed books, a dragon book. Dragon's Dawn by Anne McAfee. I actually keep coming across these books in charity shops and I keep buying them, and I don't know if they're one series or I don't know if this woman just loves dragons. I have 4 of these now, not the same, different books, but by the same author. The Dark Elf Trilogy by R.A. Salvatore. I told my mum, obviously I came home and I was like, oh my god mum, look what I bought. And she said, oh, I've heard of him. The size of this book. It's about an elf. Not impressed with the smell, thought it had one of those old smells. It doesn't, but yeah, it's about an elf. Next is a book I never even knew existed. It is a short story, a novella, I think, for the Twilight series. It's about that girl. She was like 14, 15 and she got by one of the Volturi. This should be an extremely quick read. Next, I also have these books already, but I don't have them in one huge book and not in hardback. So this is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. I haven't read these books yet. I read the beginning and then I moved on, which I wasn't bored by it, you know, it just wasn't the time. And strangely enough, I'm not even going to find it, one of maybe the main character is talking about him and then it mentions that he lives in Rickmansworth, and you know the majority of readers will be like, Rickmansworth, it means nothing to me, but it's actually down the road from me, so that was weird. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Pretty sure this is a sci-fi kind of dystopian novel about a man who lives in a time where we have colonised Mars, I think. Don't take my word on it, I haven't read it yet. And I think there are sort of colours which represent your status in the world, and this guy, the main character, is the lowest of the low. And the next book is called Golden something, Golden Sun, I think, and it's sun as in S-O-N. I might be wrong, I don't know where this information is coming from. But yeah, I'm excited to read this. He actually got back to me on Twitter, so that enthused me to read his book because he's a nice guy. 4 by Veronica Roth. I've read the Divergent series and I wanted to read this when it came out. It was really expensive. So then I was just looking around the web and I found it for like £6, so got it. Next 2 books that I've purchased this month, actually last month because now it's October, are The Fifth Wave and The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. I've heard excelente things about this. I don't really know about this, but I don't really need to because I don't know about this either, so let's focus on this. So I am extremely excited to read this because it's about aliens and I love aliens. Next, here's my most embarrassing lot of books that I've bought massively out of date. It is The Mortal Instruments, 5 of them, 5 of the 6. They're by Cassandra Clare. I don't need to talk about these. And then I also picked up the first book in the Infernal Devices series, which is a prequel series to The Mortal Instruments. I'm really excited. I also picked up a paperback version of The Mortal Instruments book 2. This was before I got the hardbacks. I need to get rid of this. Next was a book I bought on the last day of September, really randomly. It is called Earth Afire by Orson Scott Card and Aaron Johnston. I think it's some sort of a prequel to Ender's Game. It's a sci-fi set in space. It's about, like, you know, I don't know what it's about. I don't know. I don't even know what it's about. Next is another random fantasy type book with a king on the front. It's also a trilogy in one. It is Demon Crown. It's The Demon Crown, sorry. It is by Robert E. Vardman. It's about a kingdom. It's got a king in it. Yeah. I think I've completed my Game of Thrones set. So I managed to pick up all of the modern versions of the Game of Thrones books, which I haven't got, which is obviously A Game of Thrones, A Clash of Kings, the second book in A Storm of Swords, and these are all by George R.R. Martin. I don't know what these books are going to be like, but again, kings, sword fighting, dragons, hopefully. I haven't watched the series because I'm one of those weird, patient people who likes to read the books before they watch the series or watch the film, because that's the best way to do it. Simon Scarrow, The Gladiator. I basically was at work and there was a bus stop, there is a bus stop outside my work, and there were just these books piled up, and I just went for it and I took them. And I know that sounds like stealing, but it's not, because there are loads and loads and loads of charity shops across the road, and these were all dumped among other things such as children's toys, and so I knew the charity shops had said no to them. I also picked up this, which is called A Kingdom Besieged by Raymond E. Feist. Next are two books from a genre that I really want to get into, and that is historical fiction. Two books by Philip Gregory. Right, this one is The Queen's Fall. This one is The Boleyn Inheritance. She also wrote The Other Boleyn Girl, which I'm pretty sure I have over there. Calatasani's And the Mountains Echoed. I've massively enjoyed The Kite Runner. I love the ambition of this man. He's a doctor, used to be a doctor, I don't know if he still is, and he used to get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning to write. So, you know, if you don't know what dedication is, then read up on Calatasani. Next are two books by J.K. Rowling, which I haven't read yet. The Casual Vacancy, and also The Cuckoo's Calling, under the name of Robert Galbraith. So I'm pretty sure J.K. Rowling's got a thing for crime now, and I'm not into crime in the slightest, but as she's J.K. Rowling, maybe she'll get me into crime. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, these kind of blended out of fantasy and dystopian into other books. A View from the Bridge by Arthur Miller, another book I read in school, and I just remember being really impressed, and I'm really surprised at how short it is. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's in play form. Clearly, this is from a school. Someone nicked this, but that's fine because now I have it. Another Stephen King book. This is another series that I am steadily building up on. Well, Stephen King, not this specific book. It's called The Stand. I'm not sure what it's about, but it's Stephen King, so, you know, it's going to be good. My Sister's Keeper by Jodie Picoult. I've watched the film, and oh Christ, I was crying from about 2 minutes in. I'm not ready for this. Next is another book that I found on in the bus stop. It is Ben-Hur by, I don't know who this is by, Wallace. Is this in a foreign language? No, it's not. Don't worry. Yeah, apparently this was a film and it's good, so I might not even read this, but we'll see. Ian McEwan. That's not the book name. Atonement by Ian McEwan. This is one of my favourite films. I love Keira Knightley, and I love the guy that plays Robbie. Oh, God, I don't remember his name. He's insanely hot, so... And it's hardback, so lovely. Next is probably the most ambitious book I've ever bought in my life, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy also wrote Anna Karenina, and I really want to read that. Jesus Christ. Look at that writing size. And my last book, I think, it is The Complete Illustrated Short Stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Sherlock Holmes. That was my September book haul. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave in the comments if you've read any of these books and tell me if they're going to be good, if I should put them back where they belong on that bus shelter. Thank you for watching.